Smackdown kicks off backstage where Shane McMahon is talking to his new advisor, Eric Bischoff. Hit that subscribe button now and let's see what they have to say.
Well, Eric, are you ready for your first day on the job?
Absolutely, Shane. I have come here to help you resurrect WCW right under the nose of Vince McMahon. Together, we will make WCW the leading brand in all of sports entertainment once again and start a new record run of being at the top of the wrestling world.
That sounds great, Eric. That's exactly why I brought you in as my aide, to help me raise WCW from the ashes, starting tonight right here on Smackdown. Did you manage to talk to your contact yet?
Let me go make the call, and I will see you out there in the ring.
And so Eric heads off to call an unknown associate. The cerebral assassin then strikes from behind, taking Shane out with a baseball bat. Shane is thrown face first into the electric box, then taken off his feet with a clothesline. Triple H then pummels a grounded Shane, then leaves him in a heap, battered and bruised. The first contest of the show sees the man of 1,000 holds, the Iceman himself, Dean Malenko, make his way ringside for a huge match up here on Smackdown. And his opponent, the World Wrestling Federation champion, the Rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin, as he prepares for battle at Backlash with a tough opponent here on Smackdown. And so the ref starts the match. Austin comes out fighting, throwing his fists at Malenko. Malenko, though, would counter those fists and hit an uppercut of his own. Malenko would floor Austin with a second uppercut. Austin would respond with a shoulder barge and then go for the cover. But Malenko would kick out. Austin would go on the offensive, hitting a back body drop. Then he would attack a grounded Malenko, including stomping him multiple times, then attempt the pinfall. But again, Malenko kicked out. Malenko would then change the momentum with a swinging neckbreaker, then going for the pinfall and getting a close 2 count. Staying on the offensive, Malenko would whip Austin into the corner and hit hard with some stiff shots, finally taking Austin off his feet and follow up with some vicious foot shots to the head. Dean would continue attacking Austin in the corners of the ring, then launch him all the way across the ring, Austin hitting with a hard impact. Sensing victory is close, Dean would follow up a drop kick. With a running flying knee strike, and then attempt the pinfall. 1, 2, but Austin kicked out, frustrating Malenko. Malenko would go to what he does best and lock in a single leg submission. Austin writhing in pain as Malenko was looking to tear the ligaments in Austin's knee and make him submit. But Austin would land a big boot to break it up. Steve would change the tide with an impactful clothesline. Then hit a standing suplex. Malenko would roll out the ring trying to escape. Austin, however, would follow him and first rake the eyes of Malenko. then toss him into the ringside barricade, then finally throwing him back into the ring. Austin would land some hard right hands to the head of Malenko, then hit a running shoulder barge. The follow-up with a Lou Thez press, and then hit his signature Stone Cold Stunner. 1, 2, 3. And so Stone Cold Steve Austin picks up a hard-earned victory here on Smackdown. Dean Malenko proved a tough battle for Austin, but that's exactly what he needs to prepare heading into Backlash to put the WWF title on the line against Vince McMahon's hand-picked ally the game, Triple H, where Austin knows the cards are fully stacked against him. Our next match up here on Smackdown is a hardcore match, where the winner meets hardcore champion Rhino at Backlash for a shot at the title. First to make his way down ringside is Raven, and his opponent is Crash Holly. Raven, eager to start the contest, meets Crash on the rampway as the battle starts outside the ring. Raven's missed punch allows Crash to capitalize with a combo. Crash tosses Raven into the ringside barricade, then smashes a kendo stick over the head of Raven. Crash then carries Raven up the ramp on his shoulder before delivering a shoulder breaker. Crash then grabs a chair and crashes the steel across Raven's head. A running knee staggers Raven. Then a spinning forearm finally floors him. Crash then attempts the cover, but only a 2 count. The brawl continues up the rampway, and Crash pummels a grounded Raven. After hitting a bicycle kick, Crash attempts another pinfall. But again, Raven kicks out. Raven finally counters an attack and follows up with a combo of his own, flooring Crash with a clothesline. Raven then looks to escape the arena, but Crash would follow him and the brawl spills to the backstage area. Crash gets thrown hard into the vending machine. Then Raven drives his knee into the back of Crash's head. Raven would toss Crash onto the hard concrete floor. But Crash would block Raven's slam attempt, and then throw Raven off the ledge, hitting the floor hard. Raven would then be slammed into the ledge, then Crash would leap off it with a double foot stomp to the gut. Would that grant Crash the victory? No, only a 2 count. The brawl continues with Crash bringing a chair over to a dazed Raven, but laying in some vicious chair shots. Crash would attempt the cover, but again he could put Raven away. Crash would continue on the offensive. and toss Raven into the wall, with Raven's feet going through the glass window. Surely this time he would get the win. But somehow, Raven kicked out, leaving Crash frustrated. They would continue the fight towards the parking bay. And Raven would be launched shoulder first into a parked car. Raven would change the momentum, blocking an attack, then hitting a swinging neckbreaker. Raven would throw a stop sign into the head of Crash Holly, and then look to injure the ankle of Crash. Raven would go back to the stop sign, and again introduce it to the head of Holly. Then it was Crash's turn to get thrown into the car. Then he was thrown head first into the ambulance. Raven would use the stop sign for the third time with a violent running headshot. Sensing the victory could be close, Raven hits his signature DDT on the unforgiving concrete floor and attempt the pin. Raven would pick up the victory and book his title shot against Rhino at Backlash. Shane McMahon's new advisor, Eric Bischoff, then makes his way down to the ring to address the Smackdown audience.
Vince, I saw what your lackey Triple H did to Shane earlier tonight. Clearly, you're worried, Vince. You're worried that myself and Shane are the future of sports entertainment, and together, we will topple your regime here in the WWF. You know I have very powerful allies, Vince, and all it takes is one phone call.
Bischoff is then cut off as Vince McMahon's music starts to play.
How dare you, how very dare you step out here into my ring here in the World Wrestling Federation, the organization that you tried to destroy Bischoff. You won't find any friends around here, Eric, and it makes me sick to my stomach that Shane would even reach out to you, yet alone hire you as an advisor. Well, I'm glad you got to see what happened to Shane earlier, something that not only did he have coming to him, but quite frankly, his actions deserved. Eric, you can make all the calls in the world, but nobody is going to help you out around here after you tried to put them all out of jobs. And now, I'm going to come down to that ring and do something I have been fantasizing about for years, kicking your ass right in the middle of that ring.
And so, Vince McMahon drops the microphone and starts to head towards the ring. It looks like we are going to get the fight many have wanted to see for years. But reminiscent of Raw a couple weeks ago, just like he did to Shane, Triple H attacks Bischoff from behind. Vince then enters the ring and starts dictating the demise of Bischoff, starting with a pedigree. But Vince wants more and orders another pedigree. But then Austin's music hits and Triple H changes his target. Austin sprints down towards the ring, eager to get his hands on Triple H and Vince. Austin starts to attack Triple H, but Vince tries a sneak attack from behind. Austin then lets Vince have it, throwing him into Triple H before unloading right hands on both men. Then tossing Triple H aside, he throws Vince over the ropes to the outside. But then from nowhere, Kurt Angle enters the ring and attacks Austin from behind, and then locks in the deadly ankle lock. As Kurt then taunts the crowd, Triple H delivers a devastating pedigree to a helpless Austin. And so Vince celebrates with Triple H and his new accomplice, the American hero, Kurt Angle. As SmackDown comes to an end, what does this new alliance mean for Austin and the WWF Championship as he heads into Backlash with the odds stacked now heavily against him? Thank you for watching this episode of Smackdown. Please subscribe as next we head to Backlash, and you won't want to miss that. WWF Intercontinental Champion Chris Jericho puts the title on the line against the Raw Commissioner, William Regal. Can the right to censor regain the women's title in their ranks as former champion Ivory battles the current champion Chyna? Jeff Hardy will try and do what his brother Matt couldn't, defeat Eddie Guerrero, and on the line, the WWF European Championship. We just witnessed Raven win his shot at the hardcore champion Rhino in a hardcore match. And finally, the huge main event. World Wrestling Federation champion Stone Cold Steve Austin defends the championship against Vince McMahon's accomplice, the Game, Triple H. Can Austin somehow find a way to overcome McMahon's agenda to make Triple H the next WWF champion? We will find out next at Backlash. As always, thank you for watching and take care.